When someone occupies your thoughts without any form of communication, it often points to an unspoken connection that defies the usual boundaries of relationships. This connection, while invisible, carries a profound energy that binds two individuals on a level far deeper than the physical. It's not merely about missing someone or a fleeting memory, it's about a resonance between two souls that exist despite the absence of words, gestures, or proximity. This phenomenon can feel both mystifying and overwhelming, as if there is a magnetic pull drawing your attention to that individual without any conscious effort on your part. This connection could stem from a shared emotional history or a moment of vulnerability that created a bond. These are not easily severed by distance or silence, because the energy exchange between two people in such moments becomes imprinted within us. You may not realize it, but the experiences you share with someone leave a mark not just in your memory, but in your emotional and spiritual being. When that person comes to mind repeatedly, it may not always be because you are actively thinking of them, but because the connection you share is alive, pulsating quietly in the background of your life. Thoughts are energy, and energy flows where attention goes. The presence of someone in your mind without communication could mean that your subconscious is aligning with the frequency of that person. This alignment may not require their active participation. Instead, it is a silent dance of energies that occurs beneath the surface. For example, you may find that certain songs, places, or even random moments remind you of this person. It's not coincidence, it's the power of an energetic connection seeking expression in your waking life. In the absence of communication, these thoughts might feel like whispers from an unseen force. You might wonder why this person lingers in your consciousness, especially when no words have been exchanged. It's because energy is not bound by time or space. When two people connect on a deeper level, their energies intermingle, creating a bridge that doesn't necessarily require physical interaction to remain intact. This is why you might feel their presence even when they are miles away, or when weeks, months, or even years have passed since your last conversation. Moreover, this connection might not be something you consciously initiated. It's often said that people come into our lives for a reason, and sometimes their presence serves as a catalyst for growth, healing, or transformation. When someone occupies your thoughts persistently, it could be because their energy holds a message for you. Perhaps they represent something you need to address within yourself, a wound to heal, a lesson to learn, or an aspiration to pursue. Their presence in your mind acts as a gentle nudge, urging you to pay attention to what their energy represents in your life. This energetic bond can also manifest as a form of telepathic communication. While it may sound esoteric, many people experience moments where they feel the thoughts or emotions of someone they are deeply connected to, even without physical contact. This isn't necessarily about reading minds, but about being attuned to the vibrations of another person. If this individual occupies your thoughts, it may be because their energy is reaching out to you consciously or unconsciously, creating a ripple effect that you perceive as an unshakable presence in your mind. It's important to understand that such connections are not always reciprocal in the same way. You might feel their energy intensely, but they may not be experiencing the same depth of thought about you, or vice versa. This doesn't diminish the connection's validity, it simply highlights the unique ways in which individuals process and respond to energetic bonds. Sometimes the purpose of this connection is not to bring two people closer in the physical sense, but to teach one or both individuals something valuable about themselves. There's also a profound spiritual aspect to this phenomenon. Many believe that we are all connected on a universal level, and the relationships we form in this lifetime are echoes of connections that existed before. The persistence of someone in your mind without communication might be a sign of a soul connection, a bond that transcends the constraints of this lifetime. In such cases, their energy might serve as a reminder of shared experiences from a past existence, or it could signify a connection that has yet to fully unfold in this lifetime. This kind of connection can be both comforting and disconcerting. On one hand, it's a testament to the depth of human relationships and the unseen forces that bind us. On the other hand, it can leave you questioning why this person holds such power over your thoughts, especially when no communication exists to sustain the bond. The answer lies in the intangible nature of energy itself. It cannot be contained, measured, or dismissed simply because it doesn't conform to logical explanations. You might find yourself drawn to understanding more about this person, their feelings, or their life, even in their absence. This curiosity is not random, it is your energy responding to theirs, seeking balance or closure in some way. Whether you act on these thoughts or not, their presence serves as a mirror, reflecting aspects of your own energy and emotions that require attention. When someone consistently occupies your thoughts without communication, it often reveals an unspoken truth. They may represent unmet emotional needs or desires within you. This phenomenon goes beyond simple daydreaming or nostalgic reflections. It delves into the intricate workings of your mind and heart. The individual becomes a mirror, reflecting something deeper about your longings, aspirations, or even the voids you may not have consciously acknowledged. Their presence in your thoughts, persistent and sometimes overwhelming, signals that they symbolize something significant, even if you don't immediately realize it. Human beings are wired to seek connection and fulfillment. When there's a gap in these areas, whether in the form of unfulfilled love, a lack of emotional intimacy, or a yearning for something deeper, your mind often gravitates toward an image or memory that represents what you crave. This person occupying your thoughts might be the embodiment of the qualities or emotions you feel are missing in your life. They may represent kindness, passion, understanding, or a sense of belonging that you deeply desire. Even if your interactions with them were brief or limited, their impression lingers because they symbolize a need your soul is striving to fulfill. This phenomenon often operates on a subconscious level. You may not consciously recognize what it is about them that keeps pulling your attention, but the mind works in mysterious ways, connecting dots that are not always visible to you. Perhaps their presence in your life brought a fleeting sense of joy, hope, or validation, and now, in their absence, your subconscious clings to that feeling, trying to recreate it. The person themselves becomes less important than what they represent: a dream, an ideal, or an emotional state that you long to experience again. When someone represents unmet desires, your thoughts about them may also take on a heightened sense of urgency or intensity. This happens because the mind often fixates on what it perceives as incomplete or unresolved. If you have unspoken feelings, unfinished conversations, or unrealized possibilities with this person, they can become the focal point of your inner world. You might find yourself imagining scenarios where things turn out differently, where you say what was left unsaid or explore the potential you once saw in the connection. These thoughts aren't random, they're a response to the emotional tension created by unfulfilled expectations or dreams. The persistent presence of this person in your mind can also stem from a deep emotional imprint they left on you. Emotions are powerful, and when someone evokes strong feelings, whether love, admiration, or even pain, they can leave a lasting impression that your mind keeps revisiting. This is especially true if those emotions remain unresolved or unprocessed. For instance, if they awaken a part of you that had been dormant, a sense of passion, vulnerability, or hope, the absence of communication might feel like a loss, and your thoughts become a way of holding on to what they represented. Another layer to this dynamic is the human tendency to idealize those who are absent. When communication ceases, the mind often fills the void with imagined possibilities or idealized versions of the person. You might remember their best qualities while glossing over the flaws or challenges of the connection. This process can amplify their significance in your mind, making them seem even more vital to your sense of fulfillment. The more you focus on them, the more they become intertwined with your unmet needs and desires, creating a cycle that keeps them at the forefront of your thoughts. Sometimes the person in question might not even be someone you were deeply involved with. They could be an acquaintance, a fleeting connection, or even someone you admire from afar. Yet their presence in your mind speaks volumes about your internal state. Perhaps they embody qualities you aspire to develop in yourself: confidence, kindness, or creativity. In such cases, your thoughts about them serve as a form of projection, where your mind uses their image as a symbol for what you seek to cultivate in your own life. This persistent focus on another person can also signal an imbalance in your emotional or spiritual energy. When you have unmet needs, your energy may unconsciously seek an external source to fill the void. The person who occupies your thoughts becomes a kind of placeholder for the fulfillment you're seeking. This doesn't mean they're the only solution to your longing, but their presence in your mind highlights the areas of your life where you feel incomplete or unfulfilled. It's important to recognize that the thoughts you have about this person are not necessarily about them as an individual, but about what they represent to you. They could symbolize love, acceptance, or a sense of purpose, things that might feel out of reach in your current circumstances. Your mind uses their image as a way to process these feelings, creating a narrative that ties them to your deeper emotional needs. This narrative can be both comforting and challenging as it brings your desires to the surface while also reminding you of what's missing. When someone occupies your mind in this way, it often signals a need for introspection. What is it about them that resonates so deeply with you? What unmet desires or emotional needs do they represent? By exploring these questions, you can begin to uncover the deeper truths behind their persistent presence in your thoughts. When someone constantly occupies your mind without communication, it often signifies the presence of unfinished emotional energy between you and that person. This energy lingers unspoken and unresolved, forming a powerful undercurrent in your thoughts. It isn't simply about longing or memory, it's about the unexpressed emotions and unclosed chapters that tie your subconscious to their presence. These unresolved emotions act as invisible threads, pulling your attention back to them repeatedly, even in the absence of active contact or interaction. Unfinished emotional energy can manifest in many forms. Perhaps there were words left unsaid, feelings unshared, or actions you wish you had taken but didn't. These unresolved elements create a kind of emotional dissonance, a sense of incompleteness that your mind seeks to address. Human beings have an innate desire for closure, and when that closure is missing, the mind works tirelessly to find ways to process and reconcile the open-ended aspects of the relationship. This is why thoughts of this person can feel so persistent, almost like a loop that your mind can't quite escape. In some cases, the lack of communication might amplify this feeling of unfinished energy. Silence often creates a vacuum, and in that void, your mind begins to fill the gaps with what-ifs and hypothetical scenarios. You may find yourself replaying past interactions, analyzing what was said and what wasn't, or imagining how things might have been different if circumstances had changed. This mental activity isn't just idle pondering, it's your subconscious attempting to resolve the tension created by the unresolved nature of your connection with this person. There's also a profound emotional weight that comes with unfinished energy. It can feel like carrying around an invisible burden, one that subtly influences your mood, thoughts, and even your decisions. This weight often stems from the emotional investment you've made in this person. When that investment doesn't reach a clear resolution, it can leave behind a residue that colors your inner world. Even if you consciously try to move on or distract yourself, the emotional energy tied to this person lingers, pulling your thoughts back to them time and time again. Another dimension to this is the role of regret and guilt in keeping someone present in your mind. If you feel that you could have done something differently, expressed your feelings more openly, handled the situation with more care, or made an effort to maintain the connection, these thoughts can create a cycle of self-reflection and self-reproach. This cycle reinforces the presence of unfinished energy as your mind continues to dwell on what might have been and what could still be. Unfinished energy isn't just about negative emotions, though. It can also stem from positive feelings that were never fully expressed or realized. Perhaps you saw potential in this connection, a sense of mutual understanding, shared goals, or emotional depth that was never given the chance to flourish. This potential, left unrealized, becomes a source of unresolved energy. Your thoughts about this person become a way of holding on to the hope or possibility of what could have been, even if circumstances now make it seem unlikely. In many ways, this unfinished energy serves as a reminder of the emotional risks we take when we form connections with others. Relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or familial, are rarely linear or predictable. They are shaped by a complex interplay of emotions, circumstances, and choices. When these connections end abruptly or remain unresolved, they leave behind a kind of energetic imprint, one that can persist long after the physical or verbal relationship has ceased. This imprint isn't just emotional, it can also be mental and even physical. You might find that certain places, songs, or experiences trigger vivid memories of this person, bringing them back to the forefront of your mind. These triggers are not random, they are tied to the unfinished energy you share. They act as reminders of the unresolved aspects of your connection, reigniting the emotions and thoughts associated with them. It's also important to consider that unfinished energy can exist on both sides of a connection, even if you're not in direct contact. The absence of communication doesn't mean that the other person isn't also experiencing their own version of this energy. Just as you may feel their presence in your thoughts, they may also feel yours, creating a silent exchange that transcends the boundaries of words or actions. This shared energy, while intangible, can have a profound impact on your emotional well-being. It might manifest as a sense of longing, confusion, or even restlessness. You might feel as though you're waiting for something, an explanation, a reconciliation, or a sign that may or may not ever come. This sense of waiting is a hallmark of unfinished energy, as it reflects the part of you that still seeks closure or resolution. Ultimately, the persistence of unfinished energy speaks to the depth of the connection you shared with this person. Whether the relationship was brief or long-lasting, its impact has left a mark on your emotional landscape, one that continues to influence your thoughts and feelings. This lingering energy is not a sign of weakness or failure. It's a testament to the complexity of human emotions and the profound ways in which we are shaped by the people who come into our lives. When someone consistently occupies your mind without communication, it can often indicate the presence of a strong energetic connection between you and that person. This connection transcends physical interactions or verbal exchanges, operating on a level that is less tangible but equally, if not more, powerful. Energetic bonds are formed through shared experiences, emotions, and even unspoken interactions, creating a link that persists regardless of the circumstances. This type of connection can feel magnetic, drawing your thoughts back to the individual repeatedly, almost as though an invisible thread binds your energy to theirs. Energetic connections are not accidental. They develop when two individuals resonate on a deeper emotional, mental, or even spiritual frequency. This resonance creates an alignment that goes beyond surface-level interactions. When you share a significant moment, an intense emotional experience, or a profound sense of understanding with someone, it can forge an energetic bond that endures long after the moment itself has passed. These bonds are often difficult to sever because they tap into the core of who you are, touching aspects of your identity, desires, and vulnerabilities. What makes these connections particularly compelling is their ability to bypass the constraints of time and space. Even if you haven't spoken to or seen the person in years, their presence can still be vividly felt. This is because energetic connections are rooted in memory and emotion, both of which have a lasting impact on the human psyche. The mind retains the imprint of the connection, and the energy associated with it continues to flow, keeping the bond alive in subtle yet persistent ways. This phenomenon often becomes more pronounced in the absence of communication. When there's no direct interaction to anchor your perception of the relationship, the energetic connection takes center stage, filling the void with thoughts, feelings, and memories. You may find yourself thinking about the person at unexpected moments, sensing their presence as though they were still a part of your daily life. These experiences are not random. They are a reflection of the energetic tie that continues to exist between you, even in their physical absence. Energetic connections can manifest in various forms, each with its unique characteristics. In some cases, they might feel uplifting and empowering, providing a sense of comfort or inspiration. The person may serve as a source of motivation or a reminder of a time when you felt particularly alive or understood. Their presence in your thoughts becomes a kind of emotional anchor, grounding you in positive memories and feelings. On the other hand, these connections can also be challenging, especially when they bring up unresolved emotions or highlight areas of your life where you feel incomplete. If the connection was marked by conflict, misunderstanding, or unfulfilled expectations, the energy associated with it might feel heavy or unsettling. In such cases, the person's persistent presence in your mind serves as a reminder of what remains unresolved, urging you to confront the emotions and experiences tied to the bond. The strength of an energetic connection is often amplified by mutual intensity. When two people share a powerful emotional or spiritual experience, their energies become intertwined in a way that is difficult to unravel. This intertwining creates a feedback loop where each person's energy influences the others, even in the absence of direct interaction. You might sense their emotions, thoughts, or presence without any tangible evidence, as though their energy has become a part of your own. This interconnectedness is not always conscious. In fact, it often operates on a subconscious level. You may not fully understand why this person occupies such a significant space in your thoughts, but the connection persists nonetheless. This is because energetic bonds are not bound by logic or reason. They are governed by the deeper, intuitive aspects of human experience. They tap into the parts of you that are less concerned with practicality and more attuned to emotion, intuition, and spiritual alignment. Energetic connections also have a way of revealing truths about yourself. When someone occupies your mind in this way, it often prompts introspection, forcing you to examine your own feelings, desires, and motivations. What is it about this person that resonates so deeply with you? What aspects of yourself are reflected in them? These questions can lead to profound self-discovery, as the connection acts as a mirror, reflecting back the parts of you that are seeking attention, growth, or healing. In some instances, the persistence of an energetic connection might indicate unfinished business on a spiritual or karmic level. You may feel drawn to this person because there is a lesson to be learned or a chapter to be completed. This doesn't necessarily mean that you need to reestablish contact or rekindle the relationship. Rather, it suggests that the energy tied to the connection is still in motion, working to resolve itself in a way that promotes growth and understanding for both parties. The persistence of these connections can be both a gift and a challenge. On one hand, they remind you of the depth and richness of human relationships, showing you the profound impact that even a single individual can have on your life. On the other hand, they require you to confront the emotions and experiences tied to the bond, which can be difficult or even painful. These connections demand emotional honesty and self-awareness, pushing you to explore the intricacies of your inner world and the ways in which you relate to others. When someone occupies your mind persistently despite the absence of communication, it often points to a significant role they have played in your personal growth and self-awareness. People enter our lives not by mere coincidence, but through a web of experiences, emotions, and interactions that influence who we are and who we are becoming. The impact they leave on us is rarely superficial. It reaches into the core of our identity, shaping our thoughts, beliefs, and even our behaviors. When such a person lingers in your thoughts, it is often because their presence or absence has catalyzed a journey of reflection and transformation within you. Personal growth often emerges from our relationships and interactions, as they serve as mirrors reflecting aspects of ourselves that we might not have otherwise noticed. This individual may have revealed something profound about your strengths, weaknesses, desires, or fears. Perhaps their presence illuminated qualities you admire or aspire to, or perhaps they highlighted areas where growth was needed. Either way, their influence leaves a lasting impression, one that continues to resonate within you long after communication has ceased. The absence of communication creates a unique dynamic in which you are left to process the relationship's significance on your own terms. Without the ongoing input of their words or actions, your mind begins to focus on the meaning of their impact and the lessons they imparted. This introspection can be both enlightening and challenging. On one hand, it allows you to gain clarity about who you are and what you value. On the other, it forces you to confront emotions, memories, or questions that might be uncomfortable or unresolved. A person's role in your growth is not always linked to positive experiences. Sometimes their impact arises from challenges, conflicts, or even pain. Relationships that test your limits often leave the deepest marks, as they push you to confront aspects of yourself that you might prefer to avoid. These experiences may have forced you to set boundaries, assert your needs, or reevaluate your priorities. In doing so, they helped you develop resilience, self-respect, and a clearer sense of what you want and deserve in life. Even if their role was brief, their influence can be profound. Some individuals come into your life for a short period but leave a lasting legacy. Their presence might have coincided with a pivotal moment, a time of change, or a crossroads where you were forced to make important decisions. Their words, actions, or simply their way of being may have served as a catalyst for self-discovery, prompting you to ask deeper questions about your purpose, direction, or relationships. In many cases, the person's role in your growth is tied to shared experiences that had a profound emotional, intellectual impact. Perhaps they introduced you to new ideas, perspectives, or passions that expanded your understanding of the world and yourself. Maybe their presence gave you the courage to explore parts of yourself that you had previously ignored or suppressed. Their influence might have sparked creativity, ambition, or a renewed sense of purpose, leaving you forever changed by the encounter. The persistent thoughts about this person may also signify that you are still in the process of integrating the lessons they brought into your life. Growth is rarely instantaneous. It unfolds over time as you reflect on and internalize the experiences that have shaped you. This process often involves revisiting memories, re-examining emotions, and reinterpreting the significance of certain events. The person's presence in your mind acts as a guidepost, directing your attention to areas of your life where growth is still occurring. In some cases, this person's role in your growth may be tied to unresolved feelings or unfinished emotional work. Their absence creates a space where you are left to grapple with the emotions that remain, whether they are love, anger, regret, or gratitude. These emotions are not obstacles to growth, but integral parts of it. By engaging with these feelings, you begin to understand yourself more deeply and learn how to navigate the complexities of human connection. This person's influence on your growth is not limited to who you are in the present. It also shapes the person you are becoming. The lessons they brought into your life continue to ripple outward, affecting your choices, relationships, and outlook on life. Their impact may inspire you to pursue new goals, change old patterns, or approach challenges with a renewed sense of confidence and purpose. The role of such individuals in our lives is often multidimensional. They are not just teachers or challengers, they can also be sources of inspiration, comfort, or even aspiration. Their presence in your thoughts may reflect a longing to embody certain qualities they represented or to honor the connection you shared by carrying its lessons forward. Even in their absence, they remain a part of your story, woven into the fabric of your journey toward greater self-awareness and fulfillment. Ultimately, the significance of their role in your growth lies in the fact that they helped you see yourself more clearly. They may have held up a mirror that revealed truths about who you are, what you want, and what you are capable of achieving. Their presence, however fleeting, left an indelible mark on your soul, reminding you of the power of connection and the profound ways in which others can shape our paths. Whether their influence was marked by joy, pain, or a complex mixture of both, it became a vital part of your evolution, propelling you forward on the path to becoming your most authentic self. When someone occupies your thoughts consistently, even in the absence of communication, it often indicates the presence of unresolved emotional energy tied to that individual. This energy manifests in various forms: longing, regret, hope, confusion, or even frustration stemming from experiences, feelings, or dynamics that remain incomplete or unsettled. Emotional energy is a powerful force, and when it is left unresolved, it lingers, seeking closure, understanding, or transformation. The absence of communication only amplifies this, as your mind and heart attempt to fill in the gaps left by silence. Unresolved emotional energy often arises when a relationship or connection ends abruptly or without a sense of completion. This could be due to unspoken words, unaddressed conflicts, or unanswered questions. The lack of closure leaves an emotional imprint that your mind instinctively revisits, trying to piece together the story and make sense of what transpired. This process is natural, as the human psyche seeks resolution and coherence in its experiences. The person's recurring presence in your thoughts is a reflection of this attempt to process and integrate the unresolved aspects of the relationship. At times, this energy stems from feelings that were not fully expressed or acknowledged during the connection. You might have held back your emotions, whether they were feelings of love, anger, disappointment, or gratitude, out of fear, pride, or circumstances that made it difficult to share openly. These unexpressed emotions create a kind of emotional residue that lingers within you, keeping the connection alive in your inner world even when it no longer exists externally. This can lead to a cycle where the mind continually revisits the past, searching for opportunities to release or resolve these pent-up feelings. Regret is another common source of unresolved emotional energy. Perhaps there are actions you wish you had taken or decisions you wish you had made differently. These what-if scenarios can play on a loop in your mind as you imagine alternative outcomes or wonder how things might have been if circumstances had unfolded differently. Regret is a particularly sticky emotion because it often combines sadness, guilt, and a sense of lost opportunity, making it difficult to release without conscious effort and self-forgiveness. Unresolved emotional energy can also arise from the dynamics of the relationship itself. If the connection was intense, tumultuous, or marked by strong emotional highs and lows, it may have left behind a kind of energetic residue that continues to reverberate within you. These dynamics create emotional patterns that the mind becomes accustomed to, making it difficult to let go even when the relationship has ended. The absence of communication doesn't diminish these patterns. In fact, it can intensify them as your mind clings to the familiarity of the emotional energy they generated. In some cases, the unresolved energy may stem from confusion or a lack of understanding about why the connection unfolded as it did. You may be searching for meaning or clarity, trying to piece together the reasons behind the other person's actions or the circumstances that led to the relationship's end. This lack of understanding creates an open loop in your mind as you attempt to make sense of the situation and find a narrative that feels complete. The unresolved questions keep the connection alive in your thoughts as your mind seeks answers and resolution. Hope can also play a significant role in keeping unresolved emotional energy active. If you still hold on to the possibility of reconnection, reconciliation, or a different outcome in the future, this hope can tether your energy to the person, even in their absence. Hope is a double-edged sword. It can provide comfort and motivation, but it can also keep you stuck in a cycle of longing and anticipation, preventing you from fully moving forward. This dynamic often arises when the connection felt deeply meaningful or when you believe there is unfinished potential between you and the other person. Unresolved emotional energy isn't always negative. It can also be tied to positive memories and feelings that remain vivid in your mind. You might replay moments of joy, connection, or love, cherishing the impact they had on your life. These memories serve as reminders of what the relationship meant to you and the ways in which it enriched your experience. However, even positive emotional energy can become a source of longing or sadness when it is tied to something that no longer exists in your present reality. The absence of communication often exacerbates the intensity of unresolved emotional energy because it leaves a void that the mind instinctively tries to fill. Without new interactions to provide context or closure, the mind turns inward, revisiting past experiences and emotions in an attempt to make sense of the connection. This inward focus can create a feedback loop, where the unresolved energy feeds your thoughts, and your thoughts, in turn, keep the energy alive. Processing unresolved emotional energy requires awareness and intention. It begins with acknowledging the emotions and experiences tied to the person, rather than suppressing or avoiding them. This might involve reflecting on what the connection meant to you, what you learned from it, and what aspects of it remain unfinished. By bringing these emotions and experiences into conscious awareness, you create an opportunity to understand and integrate them, reducing their grip on your thoughts and energy. Unresolved emotional energy also invites you to practice self-compassion and forgiveness. Whether the lingering emotions are tied to actions you regret, feelings you wish you had expressed, or the behavior of the other person, holding on to blame or judgment only perpetuates the cycle of unresolved energy. Forgiving yourself and the other person doesn't mean condoning what happened. It means releasing the emotional charge tied to the experience, freeing yourself to move forward with greater clarity and peace. When someone occupies your mind persistently, even in the absence of communication, it can signify a deep and intrinsic alignment between your soul's journey and the lessons this individual has brought into your life. Human connections are not random. They are often profound and purposeful, tied to the evolution of your inner self. These bonds, whether fleeting or enduring, often carry the weight of transformative lessons that challenge, uplift, or redirect your life's trajectory. The persistent presence of someone in your thoughts could be an indication that their role in your personal growth remains incomplete. Relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or otherwise, serve as mirrors reflecting parts of ourselves we may not yet fully see or understand. When someone occupies your mind without explanation or external interaction, it is a call to look inward and examine the lessons that connection has brought forth. Perhaps their presence highlighted a part of yourself you had yet to acknowledge, a strength, a vulnerability, or an untapped potential that only they could bring to the surface. This alignment is often tied to shared energy and vibration. On a deeper spiritual level, people who leave an indelible mark on your thoughts often resonate with you energetically. This resonance creates a bond that extends beyond physical presence or verbal communication, manifesting instead as a continuous connection in your internal world. Their energy becomes intertwined with yours, influencing your emotions, thoughts, and even decisions in ways that may not be immediately obvious. This energetic alignment may stem from shared values, mutual experiences, or the way their presence amplifies something dormant within you. Such connections frequently challenge you to confront unresolved aspects of your life. When someone is constantly in your mind, it may be a sign that they have triggered a process of introspection or healing that is essential for your growth. Their presence in your thoughts serves as a reminder of unfinished inner work, whether that work involves self-forgiveness, releasing past pain, or embracing a new direction. The emotional intensity they evoke within you, even in their absence, is a signal that their impact was more than surface level, it was transformative. These connections can also reveal patterns or cycles that you may be repeating in your relationships or personal life. The way this person interacted with you, the feelings they evoked, and the dynamics of your connection may shed light on broader themes in your life. Perhaps they exposed a tendency to seek external validation, highlighted your fears of abandonment, or showed you the importance of setting boundaries. By revisiting the memories and emotions tied to this person, you can begin to uncover these recurring patterns and explore how they shape your current mindset and decisions. In some cases, the persistent presence of someone in your mind may indicate that they played the role of a catalyst in your life. Catalysts are individuals who intentionally or unintentionally spark significant change within you. Their role is not always to stay. Instead, they often arrive to ignite something new, a passion, a perspective, or a realization, and then leave, allowing you to continue the journey on your own. Their impact lingers because the change they initiated requires time, reflection, and action to fully integrate into your life. The soul-aligned nature of these connections also points to the concept of karmic relationships. In many spiritual traditions, karmic bonds are understood as relationships that arise to resolve unfinished energy or lessons from past lifetimes. While this idea may feel esoteric to some, the experience of meeting someone who feels inexplicably familiar or who has a profound impact on your life often resonates with this understanding. The persistence of their presence in your thoughts, even without communication, can be a sign that their role in your karmic journey remains active and significant. Such connections are not solely about the other person, they are equally, if not more, about you. When someone occupies your mind, it invites you to reflect on your own emotional state, beliefs, and desires. What is it about this person that continues to hold space in your thoughts? Is it a longing for the way they made you feel? A hope for resolution, or a recognition of something you admired in them that you wish to cultivate within yourself? Their persistent presence serves as a catalyst for self-awareness, urging you to delve into your own heart and uncover the deeper truths that lie within. At times, these connections can also highlight the importance of surrender and acceptance. While the mind may seek answers, closure, or a definitive resolution, the heart often understands that some bonds cannot be fully explained or categorized. The persistent presence of someone in your mind can be an invitation to let go of the need for control or certainty, embracing instead the mystery and beauty of human connection. By accepting their place in your inner world without resistance, you create space for healing and growth, allowing the energy of the connection to transform rather than stagnate. This soul-aligned connection is not a limitation, it is an opportunity. When someone remains in your thoughts, they are a signpost on your journey, pointing you toward areas of your life that need attention, healing, or expansion. They remind you of the interconnectedness of all experiences and the profound impact that even brief encounters can have on your evolution. Their presence challenges you to rise to your potential, to embrace the lessons they have brought, and to honor the growth that their impact has made possible.